First year as a father, I know exactly how it feels. My first year was in 2020, then again in 2022, and once more in 2025. Becoming a father happens in a moment, but becoming a dad takes time, with lots of questions along the way. Questions we, as dads, keep to ourselves. Until now. So, why am I so angry sometimes? I didn't know love could make me so angry. Because when my first child was born in 2020 and I became a father, to say I loved him was an understatement. I know it sounds cliche, but it was just the best moment in the world. You never forget the first time you actually cut the umbilical cord and you get to hold him for the first time. And it was just the best. So I didn't know why I was so angry. I, I, I didn't know if I was angry at the baby or if I was angry at the lack of control, or I was angry at maybe just my anger getting out of control. Maybe that was it. Because I thought I've always had a bit of a temper. I've been known to just blow up, right? It's not something I'm proud of, but I'm working on it, and I'm 5 years later and at the age of 37, I think I'm in a good spot. But I've always had a temper, and I thought fatherhood would change that, right? Like, how can you not? How can you be angry? You have this wonderful child that is a miracle, and we were trying and trying, and we got a baby. So this is what I've always wanted, right? This is the dream, right? We have a house, wife, now a baby, and I thought having a baby would just help with my anger. To be honest, it would give me a new lease on life or a new perspective. But it didn't initially, and I just kept wondering to myself, why am I so angry? Um, this one story sticks out in my mind when I was growing up, and I think I was in high school, and I took a shower in the morning, and I had realized that there was no shampoo or whatever, where I was missing something that I needed to use to bathe. And I remember just yelling at my mom, "Where's the shampoo? Where's the shampoo? Where is it?" Right? And she was just trying to get to work, and I think I was running late, and that particular story just sticks out in my mind in terms of how angry I got at something that seems so small, right? You know, like shampoo not being there. Okay, I mean, just get out of the shower and go look for it, right? But when you're in high school, when you're growing up and going through puberty, and you tend to lose it, right? And yeah, high school was hard for me, and maybe that was it too. But regardless, I thought having a baby would fix that, would change things, and fatherhood's just hard, and I just struggled with it, especially that first time. There was a moment in week 2 there where our baby wasn't the greatest sleeper. Most babies don't sleep well. Um, when I say they don't sleep well, they'll get up every couple hours, right? Because they're still feeding and they're hungry, and they have needs early on that get better as they grow up in that first year. But yeah, I remember at night was one time, probably middle of the night. My wife had just fed the baby, and it was now my job to, burp the baby and just keep him upright. And he was just so fussy. He just kept trying to get out of the swaddle, and I got so frustrated, right? Because I think I had spent like 10, 15 minutes getting him to calm down, and then I got up to put him in the bassinet, and then he started just getting all fussy and just trying to get out, and all that work I had built up, those 15 minutes to get him to calm down were all lost, right? And yeah, I just got so frustrated that I put him down on the bassinet, and I said sleep, and I think it was in an angrier tone. Yeah, I didn't slam her or anything. I just put him down and just said sleep, and I walked away knowing that he wasn't gonna fall asleep. But I think I just given up, and my wife stepped in and was like, "What are you doing, right?" And it was at that moment I realized how ridiculous I looked. That I was getting mad at my lack of patience and getting mad at a baby for not sleeping when they're just trying to communicate what they need, right? And that's their only way of communication. I keep going back to that moment where I just gave up, and I just so frustrated, so angry at myself, or I'm not even sure why I was angry. I just was angry that I couldn't do it. That I was struggling at fatherhood, and I just put the baby down and said sleep. Said sleep. And it was just, it's a tough moment to reconcile, as a man. Just think you're going to be this great father, and you lose control right away. Week 2, just lost control. And sometimes it takes just a ridiculous situation to realize you have a problem, right? That makes you dig deep down and ask yourself, why am I so angry? And it had nothing to do with the baby. It had everything to do with me. I had high expectations. I wanted to do a good job. I wanted to get it right away, and usually I get it by the second or third time because I keep trying. And this time, I didn't have the experience, and I didn't have the result, obviously. And I got angry at myself. And I got angry at the situation. I just got angry. Just got angry. And I knew I needed to change because that wasn't going to help going forward. When your kids see you angry, you just lose a connection with them, and there's just fear all around, right? And I had to give myself some grace and just say, hey, it's going to take some time. Give yourself a break, right? I'm my toughest critic, and I'm sure if you're watching, you're your own toughest critic, right? Sometimes when things don't go the right way, or you're not the most patient person, you just get angry, and it's okay. It's okay to get angry, but you got to recognize, and I had to recognize that it takes time. It takes time. There's ups and downs, and it's okay to feel angry. But you got to understand why you're feeling angry. And for me, it was just, it's so hard to describe even sitting now today. Yeah, I think when it comes down to it, I was I became so angry at myself for how I acted. And I think for once in my life, the anger was directed at the right person, and it was at me. And I knew I needed to change. I knew I needed to become a more patient person, more understanding person. I needed to stop being so hard on myself and have these high expectations that I see on social media that just, you know, people just doing it and getting it right away, right? That's only part of it, right? Like, people don't show the struggle, and it was okay to struggle. It was okay to try again the next day and try again the next day. And yeah, just don't be so hard on yourself. Enjoy the lows, enjoy the wins, enjoy the losses, enjoy the good, right? Like, just experience it all, experience it all. And just don't be so hard on yourself. I think once I accepted that this wasn't gonna be easy, I got a lot less angry. And I still haven't removed all that anger. It still lives within inside me, but I've done my best to control it and show my kids in a more calm manner, right? In a more reasonable manner. And yeah, it's tough, man. It's tough. But we'll get through it, right? You'll get through it. I got through it. It's only week 2, right? It's a long ride, right? So why get angry when it's only week 2? Because there's lots more challenges ahead. I can assure you of that. And next episode's challenge is, it's week 2. Why aren't I feeling that love from my baby? Why don't we have that bond right away? Like where is it, right? Like, you might be feeling that way. Like, how come I can't? How come I don't feel the love from my child? And it seems stupid, the question, but there's a lot more to it. And so I'll see you in the next episode. My name is Brian. I'm a father of 3, and yeah, I do these videos to help new dads out there. I think not a lot of dads want to share the struggles, but let's talk about it, right? Okay, I'll see you in the next episode.